I am Pazuzu, son of Hanbi, king of the evil wind spirits. I ascended a mighty mountain that quaked, and the evil winds that I ran into there were headed west. One by one, I broke off their own wings, and I beat Cthulhu and the Old Ones to death with their own tentacles. Welcome and hail! I have another dimly lit video for you. And today I wanted to discuss a little bit more about Pazuzu and what I call the bestial hero, or the part monster, part hero archetype itself. So, this little guy right here, this kaiju looking guy, I got him from eBay. I think it was from like some Japanese film or whatever like that. But I dedicated this little figure to the mighty, mighty, mighty intelligence known as Pazuzu. And then I have a little key fob right here that I dangle from his horn. Those of you that aren't familiar with him, Pazuzu is a very big intelligence, energy force from the Sumerian Draconian pantheon. He is son of Hanbi. His appearance is very, very frightening. A lot of people, and even like surface level and shallow occultists, when they hear the name, they just think of storms, plagues, diseases. They think of the Exorcist movie, which popularized them. They think of Captain Howdy and Exorcist films. But he's much greater than that. And I actually view him in a more positive light. And I'm about to explain why. Now, this is book here by Baron and Baronessa Ragni called Liber Invernos Invernar. There are two primary exorcisms that call upon the energy force, the god force of Pazuzu. And he is not a demon. He is not a mere demon. He is stronger than that. He is of the similar level to a god force energy. So he is similar to Belial. He is similar to Set. He is similar to Samael, to Lucifer, to Hecate, and in that kind of energy spectrum. Now, all these beings are classified as dark gods coming from the void, and the dark gods are malevolent. They do have their own agendas and their own plans for humanity. But personally, from my personal experience, this dude right here, Pazuzu, I don't say this lightly. I'm going to say that he is the least malevolent out of all the dark gods. He is the friendliest and one of the most approachable spirits and beings out of all of the dark gods. There are two primary exorcisms from Liber Invernos and Invernar. I'm just going to give one to you right now. And if you're really paying attention, I may have already given you the other one. This is a very simple ritual. You can do this anywhere. You place your palm on a door, on any doorway or windowsill, and you project blue fire energy into whatever you want to erect a spiritual barrier or a spiritual firewall around it, and you just say this one sentence, it's so fucking easy. It's so simple how you can apply this. You just do this, literally. I am the one who drives out evil and exits fate. Any house that I enter, headache and disorder of any kind, cannot approach and cannot harass it. There, and it's done. I'm going to put one up on this door here. I am the one that drives out evil and exits fate. Any house that I enter, headache and disorder of any kind, cannot approach and cannot harass it. And then you're done. That's it. That's how simple you can apply this magic. Now, Pazuzu also has a very strong apotropaic function that the ancient Sumerian people used him, drew upon this energy for. Now, apotropaic means to ward off evil, to means set up a firewall, a protective psychic armor, a protective barrier against evil. And a lot of people there in the occult, for right reasons, for good reasons, are highly suspicious of the Middle East. I'm not going to name people, but there are people out there, they speak out against anything, any kind of magic or stuff coming from the Middle East because of the shit that went down, in Atlantis, pre-Atlantis. The big three slave religions come out of the Middle East. I mean, come on. I will not blame for it. I cannot blame the pagans for not liking anything that comes out of the Middle East, but not everything out of the Middle East is bad. There are some really good things that come out of the Middle East, and Pazuzu is one of these beings. Now, it's not Pazuzu that you have to worry about. He's not the child-eating monster or that possesses children that the Exorcist films try to get you to believe. It's actually Lamashtu, his crazy wife, that you have to worry about. Now, Lamashtu, she's a real nasty, raving bitch. She has the face of a wild dog. She has the feet of a bird or a chicken. She stands upon a leopard or sometimes a lion. And she has a bunch of puppies, a bunch of wolf puppies, swinging from her tits, locked onto her tits. They're swinging, so whenever she moves, her puppies move with them. And she likes to kill children. She likes to kill babies. So this is actually the very first Lilith archetype. That's the origin of Lilith, or the Lilu, or the Lilitu archetype. And it's not just a singular being. It's not just a singular goddess. There is a whole bunch of raving bitches, raving harpies that come out of that Lamashtu goddess force archetypal energy. Now, what the ancient Sumerians, they would do to protect against Lamashtu, they would take a small figure, and this doesn't do justice. This is a kaiju. A real Pazuzu has a scorpion's tail. His wings are bigger, but the face, I don't know how well you can see, the face is still really the same there. He's got a big open gaping mouth, like a dog or a wolf. Some people depicted him with the face of a lion. And basically, he scares off evil spirits. They would place this little figure of Pazuzu at the bedposts, at the cribs where their babies would sleep, and that would ward off Lamashtu. That would ward off Lilu, Lilitu. Now, Pazuzu, being a very protective deity and very, very fiercely protective of his devotees, there is also a dark side of that current. There's also a very, very dark side. He is related to storms and plagues. And other cultists tried to connect him with a certain name that John D. and Edward Kelly had interface with, and I'm not going to speak its name because I don't want to bring that kind of energy here. I don't want to invoke that kind of energy. But if you know what the fuck, if you know your occult and you read even like for 5 minutes John Dee or Edward Kelly, the hyper demon, the dark god they encountered, they said that this thing was more evil than Satan. They said this thing was worse than Satan. So this thing, I'm not going to speak its name. Its number is not 666. It's half of 666. This thing, this 333 energy, it can kind of be like the shadow of Pazuzu, or like the dark half of Pazuzu, and Pazuzu would be like the light half. Would be basically what Pazuzu is to that thing that I'm not going to speak its name, is basically what Michael is to Lucifer in the Christian stories. Now I have another book here. This is Behold Set, Prince of Darkness, Exploring the Mysterious God by Ryan Scott. It was on Amazon for like $10, $12, and so I grabbed a copy. For whatever reason, the author must have pulled it off Amazon because it's not available anymore. But it's a very, very short read. It's not even 150 pages long. But there's a chapter from this book that I want to read to you when we're going to break down Chaos Kampf. Okay, this is Ryan Scott's book, page 48. Chaos Kampf is a Germanic word meaning struggle against chaos, and generally describes a myth in which a hero figure slays some sort of great beast. One of the most common illustrations of this is knights and dragons in medieval mythology, but there are many more. Indeed, Chaos Kampf myth is unquestionably dates back to before the pyramid texts, where the myth of Apep was well present and well established. The original Proto-European myths tend to specifically describe a storm god fighting a serpent, in which we have Set and Apep, as well as with the Sumerian myth of Marduk versus Tiamat. Whoever you believe wins the race to the oldest history, the Chaos Kampf myth is always there. It is in the Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Hittite mythology, Vedic mythology, Jewish mythology, and many, many more. It is a type of myth that Jung and Campbell would refer to as archetypal, in the most pristine and pure sense. In most of the religious myths, chaos is understood as a state pre-existing the universe and cosmos we inhabit, something filled with unactualized potential, free of the natural and logical laws we are aware of. From this chaos, by many varying means, came the first gods, who set about attempting to order the disordered chaos. The laws of nature, the laws of logic, and the mathematical ontology, matter and energy, all come into being from this first primordial chaos. It must be noted that chaos is not bad in the sense of modern Western good and evil. Rather, order is seen as the good because it gives rise to life. Chaos is seen as being against this good because it would have make life impossible, as existence relies on order. Eastern religions with their divine underlying of this illusion, Western religions with their monotheistic creator God, and even modern and growing materialism with its deterministic natural machine, we can see where order and chaos come into play. With all of these, many philosophies like Taoism, Buddhism, and Hinduism attempt to align themselves with this underlying reality, and many even believe that it is going against this order which causes the suffering. Groups like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism believe that order is more or less identical with God, who created the cosmos in a specific way whose blueprint should be followed. It is going against this blueprint that led to the downfall of mankind into sin, suffering, and the need for salvation. Materialism is even more nihilistic, only able to find meaning in the order because there will simply be so much time and so much more non-existence later. Oh, I'm sorry. There will be so much more time for non-existence later. Externally, all these seem so different, but really they all fit into this very ancient archetypal mythos. It is generally tends to define a religion or ideology as right-hand path. The storm god and or the hero is the true key to this whole mythology. Rather than purely order or chaos, the hero embodies both of them and leans to balance them. The storm gods were both giving in that they gave rain and taking when they caused destructive storms. They could be appeased and give water or become angry and retain it. The hero also generally does not align himself with the order or its masters, advocating for a more chaotic and free manner of living amongst human beings. Heroes first had to learn internal personal strength before they could go outwards and help society. It was a journey of self-directed self-evolution, one that improved the individual and then by proxy improved the state of existence for mankind. This is the ultimate left-hand path archetype, at least esoterically. The hero and storm god represent something much deeper and more symbolic as well, individual consciousness. He is the hero of consciousness. The conscious mind and inevitably the archetypes and gods who represent it became demonized due to the fear of very real, very obvious power that it brings. When it started to be questioned rather than addressing the question, our culture decided to simply pretend consciousness did not exist and was not an issue that needed to be addressed. So chaos Kampf, basically order against chaos. Very, very different creation story than what the big three slave religions tell you. And the false, the fake enlightened, the new agey, love and light, fucking retards tell you. It's not all about love and fucking light. The universe did not come from love and light. The universe is not created by gold and light and by love and light. It was created out of fucking chaos. True mystics will tell you that there is an underlying reality. Michael Tessarian says in his Contrarium presentation that there is an underlying restlessness that bursts all consciousness. That the very core of our being, we are not Zen, we are not perfect like little meditating Buddhas there, or Casper the Friendly Ghost with fucking angel wings, that we go into the fucking clouds and we die, that we come out of the fucking clouds with the angels and then we die and go back and string harps with the angels in the clouds. That's fucking bullshit. There is an underlying restlessness that is the seat of the soul, or what I like to call the super soul or the meta soul, the soul before all of the souls of every race, of every being, of every kind of plant, rock, and animal, the animistic zero, the animistic singularity. Think of like a giant like black hole singularity that just shot forth everything into existence. And Ryan Scott is right. When any fucking mythology that you look at, there is fucking chaos. Even in the Bible, even in the Jewish Bible, it's the very first thing it says in the very first book in Genesis. In the beginning, it was only darkness, and then God said, "Let there be light." God didn't create light from light. God created light from darkness. That's the Bible 101 for you. In German mythology, you have Genunga Gap, which literally means the yawning abyss. In Vedic mythology, you have Sunyata, or the emptiness. In classical Hellenic mythology, there is Tartaros, the Tartarian abode, which was before all life and all existence. Erebus and Nyx, before Zeus, before all the light gods, before the Olympians, before all that. And I don't fucking care. Every fucking religion, every fucking occult practice or faith, you're gonna find the void. You're gonna find the darkness, the wound that created all beings. Now, to wrap this up, why do I have a soft spot for Pazuzu? Why do I have such a big appreciation of this guy, in spite of all the fucking shit, in spite of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, in spite of that 333 energy coming out of this, despite of all that shit, why do I have a soft spot for Pazuzu there? And the reason why is I'm going to tell you this. Pazuzu is this monstrous hero archetype. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is Set spearing Apep. Spearing Apep on the cover of this book. Fuck, I really wish you could see this. I really wish you could see this book here. I don't know, I should maybe make it as a thumbnail or something. But everybody in the truth movement and everyone in the, and even like the truth occult scene is shits on Set, but nobody wants to talk about Set fighting Apep, the real monster, Apep, the real fucking bad guy in the Egyptian story. Nobody wants to talk about that. No, it's just Set bad. But Pazuzu is very similar to that as he stomps out the old ones. He stomps out really negative entities and stuff. I've been attacked by parasites. I've been attacked by the old ones, and they're little micro mini old ones. They look like jellyfish with tentacles on them. They're really nasty. And just by speaking these two exorcisms from the book there, from Liber Invernos and Verenar, they go the fuck away. And he is very protective. You just speak his name and they fucking go bye-bye. Now, another thing that these lower astral parasites, they like to do is they love to impersonate Pazuzu. That might be why some of the more like truther occultist scene, why they may be bashing Pazuzus. They think they have been attacked by Pazuzu when they actually were not attacked by Pazuzu himself, but they were attacked by parasites, showing them flashes, showing them stone images of Pazuzu in their mind, and showing them Pazuzu. That's what they like to do. They play these Jedi mind tricks on you because they do not want Pazuzu to show up. Because if you even just speak his name, Pazuzu shows up and he sends these fuckers packing. He sends them fucking packing. He hates the parasites. He hates Cthulhu. He hates these lower astral parasitic egregores. He fucking despises them. He chases them out. And when in the few unlucky ones that he catches up to, he rips off their wings and tentacles and beats them to death with their own fucking tentacles. You know, it's like some Mortal Kombat fucking fatality shit. Like, he does not fuck around. He is a fiercely protective of his devotees. He's a bad motherfucker and you don't want to mess with him. But if you have a good heart and your heart is pure and you want to protect your home, you can use it. Simple exorcism. It's all you need. And maybe an image of him to draw down his energy, and you will be protected from that negative shit, from that parasitic shit. Pazuzu really embodies that monstrous hero archetype. Basically, he's, because of his origins there, not being from this world, being alien in origin, may not even coming from this universe, and he you know, coming from the void or coming from a really hostile place, but coming here I almost get the kind of like bad guy going good kind of energy. Like he knows he's a bad guy, he knows he's a bad motherfucker, but while he's here, he actually does want to do good and like clean shit up. He wants to clean up the real enemy, the parasites. The real enemy of mankind, and is an enemy and a threat to heaven and hell. The parasite. When you go on the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, you go into the underworld and you confront your shadow. You confront really dark and the worst parts of yourself, and it's up to you basically to slay that dragon, to spear that Apep, to rip the tentacles off Cthulhu's face, and then beat him into fucking nothing. And then after which you drink their blood. You drink the blood of that dragon, the blood of that Apep, and you absorb all of its power. And now you are control. You know, Pazuzu is like very, very similar to Baphomet. He's got the hands like this, like one hand up and one hand going down. Now I've seen many people say, you know, that that actually has nothing to do with Baphomet. That's just happens to be a mudra or something. I disagree with that. I actually think he might be like a proto Baphomet as a symbol, as like an alchemical archetype where we embody that chaos and order, that bad guy, good guy, which is the embodiment of absolute freedom. Because think of this, okay? Murderers, rapists, serial killers, they've done all their horrible deeds out of free will. Even animals, they don't even have that level of freedom. Yes, there are wolves, there are big cats, lions, tigers, cats of prey, you know, that tear up the gazelle and whatever, but they do it because they're hungry, not out of sadistic pleasure, not because they want to. So yes, animals do have freedom. They do have a lot of freedom, but they don't have the same level of freedom that man has. So basically, it's kind of like this. All right? When you're both the monster and the good guy at the same time, you are essentially God. You have essentially individuated. You are the epitome of humanity. That you have mastered being human. You have done bad things, you've done a lot of bad things, and you've also done a lot of fucking good as well. You've done a lot of good. Essentially, what Pazuzu represents is he has a foot in the void, a foot in hell, a foot in the darkest, nastiest astral gridworks. Where, sorry about that. That was an alarm. Yes, I'm awake. Yes, I'm dreaming. I'm trying to teach myself lucid dreaming, so I've been setting myself alarms to go off every hour, and I pinch myself. Yes, I'm awake. No, I'm not dreaming. This is reality. What he represents essentially is he has a foot in the worst possible lower astral gridworks, where insectoids, where reptilians, where malevolent entities and aliens and greys and draconians and just really nasty shit fucking rule supreme. But he also has a foot in the higher gridworks, and because of his intent and because of his will to stomp on cancer, because of his will to crush the parasite, he knows who the true enemy is. He knows that the enemy is the parasites. He have shown me this. He told me all this. He hates these motherfuckers. He absolutely fucking hates them. He hates the parasites. He fucking hates them with a passion, even more passionate than I have. And I say I have a pretty big passion for hating the parasites because I love what's good and I love what's wholesome. So Pazuzu is a very, very free being because he carries this responsibility of having one foot in the void, one foot in the abyss, one foot in the physical plane, in the astral plane. So basically, Pazuzu is someone who is on the astral level, there has mastered has mastered himself, basically. And as a symbol, not just as a god, but also as something to meditate on, as an archetype, is something we can all embody and become total badass. We all can become little Pazuzus. We all can become little heroic storm gods that fuck shit up, but also slay that fucking Apep. Spear that fucking Yam Nahar. Spear that fucking one who makes the universe scream. That's another one I almost forgot. But in Buddhism and in Vedism, there is a monkey-looking character that also has a little snout, this face is protruding, similar to Pazuzu, but his name is Hanuman, and he's not a dog or a cat. He's actually a monkey. He's supposed to be like a macaque or something. But in the story of Hanuman was tasked to taking up arms against he who makes the universe scream. Now, nothing more was really said about that. Nobody really knows what the fuck it is, but apparently this thing was so scary, so frightening, that it makes the universe scream, or makes the cosmos wail. It might even be the Purusha or something. The Purusha is like a chaos core, like a chaos thing with like 1,000 arms, and like each of the arms it holds a spear or like an axe or a trident, or like different various weapons and everything. That might be it, but it's not said whether or not that he who makes the cosmos wail is Purusha or not, or if Purusha is something greater. I tend to think Purusha is like the void, or Purusha is the chaos that spawned forth Shiva, that spawned forth Shakti, that spawned forth Brahma, Vishnu, that spawned forth the worlds, all of the universes. But Hanuman is tasked to take up arms against he who makes the universe scream. And basically, with Pazuzu, I get a very, very similar vibe. Pazuzu, to me, at least from my experience, the Pazuzu that I had interface with is basically that Hanuman of the Middle East. Yes, I'm going to say it. Pazuzu is a Sumerian, draconian Hanuman who hates the parasites and wants to take up arms against the old ones and the really, really nasty, negative, parasitic energy force that controls and manipulates the big three slave religions that's keeping this world in chains. With that being said, I'm going to say, hail Pazuzu, son of Hambi. Hail the Sumerian Hanuman.